You may have found yourself in a situation where you found a really good article on a topic and you want to show it to your students but realise it's probably a little bit beyond their understanding. Well, one thing you can use AI to do is to take that article and to summarise it, but also to make it easier for students to understand. So I'm going to demonstrate that now with this example here on an article on the Reformation, which in the interest of transparency was generated by ChatGPT. But you can see there, even in the first line, it has words like seminal, epoch, ecclesiastical, and catalyzed. That's just the first line, all language which is pretty dense. So we're going to now try and take this article and simplify it so that it's much easier to understand. So what we can do is we can just simply copy and paste that into ChatGPT and essentially ask it to summarize. So that's that copied. And I've already written the prompt here. So it's just saying you are an English teacher in a secondary school. So given the role and then given it the task, summarize the article below on the Reformation that a student aged 14 would understand. So a little bit of context there and use fewer than 100 words. I'm trying to be specific. And then I've got a little statement here saying here's the article, and then at this point then I will put the article in. So I'll paste that in and then I will then generate that. So then it will generate the response. So it's saying here now, the Reformation, the major change in Europe during the 1500s, people began to challenge Catholic Church parent teachings. So it's talking about indulgences, but doesn't really explain what they are. So this is an example where you might not be perfectly happy with the summary. So what we can do is we can ask it to explain a little bit more what we mean by indulgences. So we can say that's great, but can you explain what indulgences were? So we can then ask it to regenerate that. Okay, so it hasn't quite done exactly what we've done. It's just explain what indulgences are. So what we can just make sure that to the final summary. So we need to actually create the whole summary again, but hopefully it'll include indulgences in there this time. So there we go. So it's explaining what indulgences are. These documents held by the church that claim to reduce punishment for sins. And that pretty much summarizes that text in a way which I think I'd be happy with. But again, you can pose more questions and you can get it to generate the summary to how you would fit with your students and with the national curriculum and so on.